Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into MPL style. So this is a way to style matplotlib plots so that we don't need to style it in Python code. And why do we do that? Because we can reuse the code. Much of the styling can be done in MPL style. So if we want to have a certain type of style, then we can use the MPL style to code that out, and then we can reuse it throughout the graphs, and this will create graphs that are looking similar. For example, in my storytelling lecture, I worked with removing top and right spine, made the left spine and the bottom spine, like the y-axis and x-axis, into gray. And these things, we don't need to repeat that all the time in the Python code. Instead, if we put it into a style sheet, then all our graphs will look like that if we just load this style sheet. That is the idea. I'll show you what can be done with MPL style, but then I will also show you how to make your matplotlib code more dry. So don't repeat yourself, because a lot of, like when we're doing explanatory data analysis, we need to customize a lot of different things, right? So if we are creating several graphs, then we don't want to copy and paste all the code all the time. Instead, we want to put similar options into functions or using OOP. But here I will make it simpler for you so that I will go into functions. So otherwise I would also prefer using OOP, because then in my opinion it's even cleaner, but I will skip that in this lecture to make it simpler. Yes, but we'll go into the data. So here I am in Kaggle, and the data set that we're working with is this jobs and salaries in data field for 2024. So just create an account if you haven't already, and then download this zip file, and I will move on to Visual Studio Code. So here I am in Visual Studio Code, and you can see this is the data. Jobs in data 2024 it's a work, experience level, employment type, salary, currency, blah, blah, blah. So we'll look into this data more when we read this in Pandas. So create a new terminal. If you don't already have a virtual environment, I strongly suggest you work with a virtual environment and then activate it. So I'm doing this from scratch. However, if you already have one, you should just activate it, because if you do, it will rewrite the old one. Okay, so now I've activated my virtual environment, and it's time to install some stuffs. Pip install matplot, of course. What else do I need? I need DuckDB, pandas, and ipykernel so that I can work with the Jupyter Notebook. And that's done. Okay, so let's create my Jupyter Notebook. I will create MPL style storytelling.ipnb. Okay, so save this one. So MPL style and matplotlib storytelling. I changed my kernel to my virtual environment. Okay, so I changed this to Python, and let's import some stuff. matplotlib.pyplot as plt, import pandas as pd, import duckdb. Okay, so here, I'll take down the terminal. I do need some more things actually I will have a constants file, so I will create this touch constants.py, and I want to have touch charts underscore utils.py. So this will help me to keep the code more dry. And for the constants, let us just copy and paste. So it's the same color as I've used in previous lectures. And charts utils, I'll show you what this is for later. So this turned into data. It should be outside of data actually. Okay, so now it's outside of data. Perfect. So change my kernel .ven. Yes. So first of all, I forgot to create the styles. So make dir styles. The idea is that you can have several styles. You don't need to have one style sheet. You can have several. And you can also make it into a composite style sheet, so you can have some base style, and then you can add a lot of different styles depending on what type of graphs you're interested in. This is quite interesting how you can work the styles. Also, you can have different style sheets for different cases. For example, if you want a dark style, you could have dark style sheet. If you have color, can choose. Okay, in the styles, I want to have .mpl style. I'll call it base.mpl style. I put it here. It should be under exactly. So here you can. The thing is, it's n with mpl style. And for mpl style, you should go into here and type in mpl style into extension. Download this one, install it. This is super good. It's IntelliSense for mpl style. Life will be much simpler. So now we have done the basic setup. We need to do plt.style.use. This gives us possibility to use this one, mpl style. And then df equals to pd.read data/jobs in data 2024.csv df.head. As you can see, here we have some jobs. We have, for example, df.shape. You see we have 14,000. df.head, df.columns. You can see here are the columns that we have that we work with. We have salary in USD. That one I will work with. We have the job title and we have job category. That one we'll work with as well. Job category, you can see here, there's a few different ones. So let's explore that a little bit. So let's start with the job category. So job category. And here are all the categories for each of the jobs, right? But I will do dot value counts to see how many we have. Now we can see that we have job category and we have different types of categories and how many jobs they are. Based on this, I will call this df job categories. We'll also check the type of df job categories. It should be a series, right? This is actually very important later on when we work with colors. I'll show you why. Okay, so let's do some visualizations now. So now we start with visualization. And here we'll have from constants, import. Actually, I will keep it simple, blue one and gray one. We had several colors, but I don't need to use them all because we will use them in our style sheet soon. And then we'll do this. df job categories dot plot kind equals to bar. And it looks like this. Yeah, this is our first one, right? However, I will make it into a horizontal bar h. Okay. And then we want to do x.invert axis. But then I need to give this x. Okay. Let's see, x.invert y-axis. Okay, perfect. Good start. We have a starting visualization of a bar h, horizontal bar. I will move on to my base.mpl style. I will open this as well. And I will do Command B so that I don't show that one. And then I will split so I can see both of them at the same time. I will increase the size a little bit. Okay, so let us style this one. I want to remove some things. So let's see how we do that. So we can do some simple styling. Let's see. We can start with the axis. Axis. And then you can see the autocomplete is super useful. Axis dot spines. You can see the spines are those, right? These are the spines. And when I hover over them, you can see the bottom is that one. And if I have left, it's that one. And they give an example. Axis.spines left.true. true, but it's the top and right I don't want. So right, copy this one, top, save this one, and then here, it's important that we do, I need to decrease this to have the run all button. Run all, you see they disappeared. Cool, so I don't need to do this for each of my graphs. Instead, I do it once in my MPL style. Import, I do plt style.use, and then voila, it disappears for all my graphs. So to show, we can continue here. So what else do we want? I could add some, let me set a title first. Let me think of a title that is storytelling. The title I choose is, or we can actually add a title later on. I'll just show you a basic title here. Number of job postings for different job categories in data field, like this. You can start like this. And I want to have, when I do set title, I want to have look equals to left, right? Like this. Okay, good. This is a good starting point. And then I want to do x.xlabel, and xlabel I want to have a number of jobs. And I also want to have look equals to left. Let me see. x.setXlabel. Okay. And then I also want to have x.setYlabel. And this one should be called job category. Actually, I want it to be horizontal and I want to place it over there. So x.setYlabel. Y-label, let's see what it's called. It's called Y-label, Y-axis set label chords. X.Y-axis, let's see, Y-axis dot set label chords. And here I want to place it up to the, so if I do 0,1, then I will place it there, right? And if I do this one, rotation equals 0, and then I need to go minus 0.12. And also for a title, I want to have padding, pad equals 20. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, so this is the base layout that I want. Let us continue using the MPL style to clean up some stuffs. For example, I want the axis to be much weaker color. So let me do label, and let me call this label and colors. So then we have X tick color. You can see X tick color, it's marked here. So these are the X tick colors. So if I put this into red to make it clear, and then run all here, you can see they become red. However, I want to have my particular color. So I'll just copy this in. So this is the gray color that I have used in my previous videos. You need to have quotes here. And you cannot auto format this, because if you auto format it, it will remove the quote and this won't work anymore. You need to have the quote in order to have the hexadecimal color. Okay, so if I run all here, you can see X tick color, they become weaker in color. I do similar thing here for white color and run all. You can see they become weaker in color as well. I will do access dot title color, the same color. Access dot label color, same color. When I run all, you can see everything fades in now. Let me see. We also want to have padding here. So let's do that. You can see the difference here. Here there's padding. So if I choose, for example, 20 and run all, you can see it becomes very far away. So I want to have 5 here, run all, and it looks better. Then I want to have white major pad. I want to have 10. You can see there's a little bit difference here. These are the things that you can play around in order to style this. And make sure that, because what I'm doing here is actually, I will just show you horizontal bar charts. So my styling may be very good for the horizontal bar, but maybe worse for line chart or a vertical bar chart. You should style based on what type of graphs you use. For example, this, maybe I should call it for horizontal bar, right? And then if I have one for line, then I could have one that is line chart and line style, line.mplstyle, and import that one when I'm doing line charts. So I will also do, we have minor pad as well. I'll copy this one in and run all. Let me see, access.label pad also. So label pad, for example, if I do 20, what happens? You can see that the label jumps away. However, you can see that this one doesn't change, and that is because we have fixed the chords, right? So the MPL style is the one that is used first, but then afterwards, when I choose something in code, then that one will take precedence. So I want this not to be 20, instead I want it to be 7. Run all, and you can see it's a little bit closer. Okay, so then we have fonts. I can copy in a few of the settings so that you can get it as well. So these are for fonts. Actually, I like the original font, so I won't change it. But you can change if you want. Run all, and you can see this is just the font size. So if I choose it to be 15, then it will become much bigger here. And I will have 10, run all, so it looks like this. And also, if you're working with lines, you can have line width. I will remove xticks. Actually, I should place it in a better way. So I want to remove the xticks. If I run this, you can see the tick disappears. However, the bottom maybe I want to have. I think the bottom is good to have. Yes, I keep the bottom ones. The axis, we can do copy in this. Axis.linewidth. So then I make the width of the line, and then axis.title size, which size of the axis I want. Title size is this one, and label size is this. So if I save this one, run all, it becomes a little bit bigger on the title. And then I want to have my labels to be bold, axis.label weight, and they become bold. Good, so I don't need to make them bold in the code, in the Python code. This is a good setup that when I create new graphs, this will automatically have this setup with all this styling in place. So what else do I pick? What is important? This is making the figure face color into white, but you can choose another color if you're making another style. And DPI, I put it as 300. I think this could be the default. As I looked it up, like 300 is good for reports. It's good enough. So you shouldn't have too large, because then it will be larger file sizes. However, if you're printing out in high quality, you can go over 300, maybe 400 or 500, but don't go over 600. Then it's a little bit too much, and you cannot see it with the eyes anyway. And this figure.constraint layout, it's something that you can experiment with how it looks like. Instead, I will use tight layout. I think that is better, but there's no tight layout here. So figure constraint layout is good when you're using subplots. I'll run this one. And we have 300, so it should be more sharp. Okay, great. I think I'm happy with, I think this could be a good starting point. Okay, you can download my MPL style directly and you will have this styling to your graphs. I haven't done anything to style it further. So let me decrease a bit. Okay, so it looks like this. So this one needs to change a little bit so that it becomes in the right place. But there's one thing I don't like. And the thing I don't like is that I need to set these. You can see we have location left. I do that each time. Rotation equals 0. I do that each time as well for the horizontal bars. And similarly, what else do we have? Yes, there could be a legend. If I do x.legend.remove, then I need to do it each time there's a legend as well. So there's a lot of things that I need to do manually that I don't really like. So what I want to do is place this into functions. Oh, I forgot. Actually, I changed also one more thing in MPL style here. I added access.edge color because I want the edge color to be gray, right? So I choose a gray color here so that they don't stand out too much. Okay, so now I will move this into a function. So how to create this function? Or actually, we can place it in the same one. It simplifies it a little bit. Horizontal bar, options. X, comma, star options. First of all, I'm inverting the axis somewhere, right? So I'm doing x.invert axis. So this one I will place inside of here. So the idea is that I will return an x. So if I just run this one without calling the function, you can see that they are inverted, right? So what I need to do is call this function by doing this. So x equals horizontal bar option x. So if I run this, we can see it became inverted. This x is like we send in the x into this function and then we invert the axis and then we return the x. I want to place all these, move this into my function. If I run this, you can see everything looks the same. However, if I don't run this, then everything looks like the default one, right? Okay. So then you can see that the code, the idea is that if I can reuse all this, then the code may be very short to create this stunning graph here, right? That is the idea. So in order to create this, we need to make it a little bit more. So like the problem is that we have hard-coded the title here. We've hard-coded all the labels. For example, how do I get this value in here? What we can do is like this. I'll show you one thing I can do with my options. So you need to understand what **quarks do. So print options, and you can see what this does. For example, I put in keyword argument, test equals 6. And I will print my quarks now. You can see it's a dictionary. That is super cool. So it's a dictionary where the keyword argument that I send in is becoming the key. And this is the value of that key. If I send in test2 equals 4, then you can see this is my dictionary. Then I could do like this. I cut this out. I do options.get. I will get the key, right? What is the key I want to get? I will call it title. And then the default value, I want it to be empty. I'll just show you what this does. If I just run this one, you can see default title comes in here because I haven't put in a title. But if I put in a title equals to this one that I just copied, and I run this one, you can see, it takes over. However, I want this to be empty. Because if we don't specify a title, then we want it to have no titles. Okay, so now you understand how the kwargs work. So keyword arguments, star kwargs. Let's use this to our advantage and make this more general. Xlabel, of course, we can do options.get xlabel, nothing. And if I run this one, you can see nothing because we haven't added an xlabel. But if I do xlabel equals to number of jobs, you can see number of jobs. So cool. And then another cool thing, we continue here. Cut out this one. Options.get ylabel. And rotation, we keep it as 0, or we can actually do options.get rotation as well, in case you want to rotate it for some reason. Yeah, we want to give the user this option here. It should actually be rotation equals to options.get. I want to call it rotation, but ylabel rotation so that we know what rotation we're looking for. 0 by default. And then run this one. We don't have a job category, but we place in ylabel equals to our job category, and it's back. And here, the coordinates, we can put it by default. Say we put something that will work. Yeah, this looks good. -0, 1, and 1. Okay, so then I will create options.get, and this is the default value. When you change the figure size, you need to also configure the label chords again, because these are not valid anymore. Of course, we could do some math and scale this based on the figure size, but I'm a little bit lazy to do that. So let's do this. Options.get. What should I call this? ylabel x chord. ylabel x chord. It's the ylabel and it's the x chord. And then I'll copy this one. And now it is ylabel y chord. This should be 1, right? So by default it goes here, but if I want, I could change it. Okay, what do we have more? Title, location is okay. The padding is good to let people change, because that depends a little bit. If I have different sizes and different number of lines, I need to change the padding. So the padding I want to change, so pad equals to options.get title pad, comma 20. For example, I could have as default. Maybe a little bit more, right? 15 maybe. Does this look okay? I want it to be more. 20. Yeah, 20. That could be a good starting point. Okay, what else do we have? We have invert options. You can see the options. These are the things that we sent in. However, I don't want this anymore. This is just for learning about star kwargs. Yes, I think this is good enough. Yes, so this is fantastic, but As you have seen from my previous videos, I usually save this. When I save this one, I need to have a figure here, figures folder. And in order to save this one, I do this. Fig equals to x dot get figure. And then I do fig height layout. And what I say, put in figures slash what this should be called. I call it job post, or I can actually keep it same as note so that when you're looking at it, it should be the same. Mention number data jobs. And if I run this one, you can see inside of the figures, it turns out here. It looks good. This is the saved figure. I copy, I save, I store, I use it all the time for each of the figures. We shouldn't do that. So instead, we put it into a function. So def save fig from x. Then I do ** options and place this in. I need to change. Actually, I shouldn't put it as options. I should give it a path here. Fig path. Fig path. Okay. So then fig path, comma, DPI I want to be able to change. So here I can do options.get DPI 300 as a default. Now let me do this save fig from x and I will put in this one. So I will remove this one. So when I run this one, it doesn't work because I need to place in an x. Yes. And you can see that here in the number data jobs. Okay, great. Now I have my functions. However, we can also do like this. I put it into my charts utils. Now I can do like this. From charts utils, import horizontal bar options, save from x. And then I will run all. You can see it's here. And you can see the code is much shorter now. So what do I want now? I want to do some more additional options or some things that it's hard to put in. I could place it in horizontal bar options as well. I could choose a color. I could make a color function, but I will leave that for you to try to do. But I can do like this, colors equal to, oh, then I need my colors. I forgot them. From constants, import gray, and I want to have blue. So gray 1 times length of df categories. And then I want colors :4 equals to blue 1 times 4. So basically I want to replace the first 4 with blue. So then if I do color equal colors and I run this one, you can see that these are the highlighted ones. Because those are the ones I want to highlight. I want to show which ones are top job categories. I need to copy this in. It's a little bit too much to type. So the title, I will explain it. So the title, I will change the title to this one. And what this does, I'm using the LaTeX to have mixed styling. I have some that are not normal font, and then I have font weight bold for some of them. So in order to do that, I need to use LaTeX. So I'm using LaTeX here. So here we have top job categories within data field 2024 are, and then plus this string here, LaTeX, dollar makes me into LaTeX, and then I do \BF for bold font. And then for data and science, I need to do \space in order to get the space, because if I remove that one and just have a space, then we don't have a space. That's why it looks like this. And similarly, I do for other things as well, bold. So this is what I do. I want to have it a little bit more spaced around. So I do title pad equals 22. Or let me try 50. Yeah, it works. Okay. 22. Yes. And now I'm happy with my graph. It looks good. So now I will create another one and I will show you that the code is very short also. So let's create my next visual. So first we need to do duckdb.query. Let's see. I need to get the data. Select job category, and then I will do average salary in USD as average salary in USD from DF group by job category, and then order by average salary USD descending. So this is my duckdb, and then .df. .df .set index job category. I want it to be integers, so I will cast this one as int. Okay, so now it's integers, average salary USD. Okay, perfect. I will call this df salary. Df salary equals to this one. Df salary. So let's create my visualization now. So let's do like this. Df salary x equals df salary dot plot kind equals bar h. It already looks good, right? The base is already looking good, but there's some more things we need to do. So actually I need to pick out this column to plot, because what I want to do is highlight the data engineer. So colors equals to gray 1 times length of df salary, and then I do colors of 3 is the data engineer equals to blue 1. So if I do color equals to colors and run this, then everything becomes gray. It doesn't care about my blue. What I need to do, because the color will act on all if you're putting in a data frame. So I need to put in a series. This is very important. So I pick out the average salary USD. So now you can see that the data engineer becomes okay, so the data engineer, since we count the first row here, second, third, fourth, or 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So then we have our axe now. So let us do like this. We need to do x equals to horizontal bar options of x. And you can see, it already turned around. Good. I place in the title. I don't want to type it out, so I will copy it for you. Here. Okay. I want to put in X label and Y label as well. I don't want to type that out either. Job category, yearly salary in USD. And let's see, what can we do more? I could do width equals 0.6 to make it a little bit thicker. I could do, basically this. And then I could say figure. Actually, we could do thousands formatter as well. I'll copy this code for you and I'll explain it. So it's quite simple. You have seen thousands formatter in my previous videos. So it's basically the same code, but I need to import it from matplotlib.ticker for func formatter. So what it does is that we have a function here of how we want it to look like. I want it as k here for 1000, and then I put in each value and divide by 1000. And then I need to choose which axis to change the format on. So then I place in here the format. I need to place in which axis I want to change. So basically I just do if statements to choose which one I want to change right. But this could also simplify even more if we use get adder, but I want to keep complicating the code too much. Okay, we need to import the thousands formatter as well. Then I do this. X equals to thousands formatter of X. And when I run this one, it didn't work. I need to restart it, run all again. Now it works. And that is because of Jupyter Notebook. When it's importing one time, it won't import again because it's already stored in memory. So you just need to restart and then run it again. And now I will save the figure. So I do the save fig from X, and I place in the X, and then I also put in where I want to save it. Let's see, figures/salary data jobs.png. Run on. It's saved. You can see the code is quite short in order to get this beautiful graph. Compare this to the ones I did in the storytelling video, where we needed to do a lot of different configurations to get this code. You might think, okay, it's not short because we have just splitted it up in different places, but however, this can be reused. So if I create 2 graphs or 20 graphs, I still just need the code that looks like this. So result, if I go into here, revealing folder, in Finder, figures, it looks like this. This one looks like this. Also. So in this video, you've seen me working with mplstyle. It's a way of styling matplotlib. And this is really useful for you to learn how to create consistent and beautiful visualizations, make it into a certain style, and also creating different functions so that you can reuse throughout your visuals. Placed it into a chartsutils.py, so that the idea is that you can build upon this structure to create consistently beautiful graphs. I hope you've learned a lot from this video, and see you in the next one. Bye.